What's going on, guys? Felix here from the Shopify Masters Podcast and Podcasting Secrets. And today I'm going to talk to you about one of the biggest concerns I hear from a lot of beginner podcasters, people that are thinking about starting a podcast, which is the big question of should you start a YouTube channel or should you start a podcast? It's a very big, important question because it's also a question that a lot of people that are just starting off as content creators are asking, right? Like, what is the right platform? And I get it, right? Because you want to be on a platform that's going to give you the biggest runway, that's going to give you the biggest potential to continue growing and not pigeonhole yourself and not be stuck in a platform that you don't want to be on, or that's not going to be as profitable, or that's not going to be able to give you as a big of an audience as the other. And I think it's a big part of it. I had the same exact fear, because I don't want to waste my time, right? I'm so fearful of wasting my time. I'm so fearful of building a platform, building an audience on a platform that kind of just gets stuck and just like, can't grow beyond that platform, right? I want to pick the right platform from the start. And I hesitated for a long time to the point where I just told myself, let me just do both. This was about a year and a half ago. I don't know what I was doing, but I was like, my daughter was just born. I was just like trying to do so many different things at a time. I started a YouTube channel. I think about starting a podcast, and I actually went the route of starting a YouTube channel. And I actually have tried starting a YouTube channel in the past before. This is actually my second attempt at starting a YouTube channel. And I failed again for the same exact reason. What I knew the second time around was that I knew that if I did not make it super, super easy to record each and every single video, I would find a reason not to do it. I need to have everything set up. I need to have the camera set up. I need to have the microphone set up. I need to have the lighting set up. I need to have my laptop set up. I need to have the software set up so that when I sit down, I can record right away, not have to worry about, oh, do I have everything set up to go? And that kind of friction, I knew if I had that little bit of friction, it would cause me to have an excuse to not record the episode. So what I realized was that when I want to become a content creator and I want to be someone that commits or sticks to my commitment, which I said would be to record 5 to 6 pieces of content like this, a podcast or video every single day, I needed to pick something that would allow me to do it frictionless, meaning that it had to be seamless, had to be as easy as picking up my phone and just hitting record, right? That's what I need to do. I needed to not have to worry about things like lighting. I wouldn't have to worry about things like editing, right? I had to worry about editing so much with video. I actually had to hire a video editor for my videos, and I spent like almost $200 per YouTube video just to get it going. So as you can imagine, the editing, the equipment setup, the software setup, potentially hiring an editor, finding an editor, training everyone, and creating this entire system of creating YouTube videos made me have a lot of friction, which gave me a lot of excuses. This is the exact same thing whenever I want to eat healthier or I want to lose weight or get in shape. I have to reduce the number of excuses. For me, what I have to do is basically, if I have junk food laying around, if I have a lot of bad food laying around, it gives me an excuse to go off my diet, right? The more things I have around me that make it harder for me to stick to my commitments, it's going to just constantly drag me down, slowly pull me down to the point where it just wears on you and you just give up. And that's what happened to me. After about 20 or so videos, I gave up because it was just too much friction, too much to do just to get going with the content. So what I'm saying is that if you have a goal of becoming a content creator, you want to create content, pick the platform that's going to give you the least amount of friction just so you can get going. Maybe eventually you want to do YouTube videos, maybe eventually you want to do videos, but there's nothing wrong with sticking with one platform at first, building an audience there, and then expanding from there. That's exactly what I'm doing. I started with podcasting first. Now I'm expanding into video and then turning that into a podcast. But don't go for videos right off the bat because it introduces so much friction, introduces so many opportunities for you to give an excuse not to create the content. Start audio only. Start with something that makes it super easy for you to pick up the phone, open up the laptop, hit record, and start your podcast. Make it as frictionless as possible. Remove all the points where you might stop and say, well, this is too hard, this is too much of an annoyance. Even if it's a small thing, over time, it will build up. So that's what I've been doing. I've been focused on, again, recording content 5 to 6 days, 5 to 6 times a week for a full year. So I'm looking at 200 plus episodes. If I want to do that, I cannot be worried about how to sit down, how to set up the lighting for 200 times. Okay, so that's the goal. Create content is the goal. Get going creating content. Reduce all the frictions. Don't set up all this big production with all these videos or video cameras and software and hardware and lighting, and make sure you have the right time of day and editing. There's too much involved in there. It's going to stop you from getting started. So focus on that. And that's a big transformation for me, was that realizing that creating content is the most important piece. The more friction I remove from it, the faster I can move. The more often I will get on here and start talking, get better at podcasting, get better on video in my case, because I remove a lot of the friction, right? I'm recording straight from my phone because I want to remove the friction. And I realize now that friction will weigh me down, friction will slow me down, and friction will cause me to burn out and eventually give up. So pick the platform that reduces the number of excuses, reduces the friction. And I believe podcasting is the way to do that. So hopefully it helps you make your decision on YouTube versus podcasting. I believe podcasting makes it so much easier to get started. And once you have momentum, once you have speed, you can then transition and expand to more platforms. But you might not even get there if you pick something too hard to get going in the first place. Hopefully it helps you out. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.